And welcome back to the week of Who Would Win. And with Avengers Endgame now in theaters, it's so prudent that I decided to pick one with the big blurple man himself, Thanos. Brought to us from Elijah Bain 25, is that the name? I believe that's the name. Elijah Bain 25, yes. And you asked the question, who would win a fight? MCU Thanos, and I believe you specified with the Infinity Gauntlet, but I will play a little game with that in a little bit. Versus, and I quote, the CW Flash, the CW Supergirl, Man of Steel Superman, and Sosuke Aizen from Bleach, of all people. Kind of their own little Avengers group. Now, there is technically three ways you can look at this matchup. There is the group facing Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. There's the group facing him without it. And then there's a third option that I think is the most fun to do because it gives you the most option, it gives you the best idea how the actual fight will go down. But let's just break down Thanos really quick. Just on his own, Thanos is arguably the strongest villain we've ever had in the Marvel Universe. He's strong enough to go toe-to-toe with the Hulk and manhandle him, honestly. A skilled warrior, quick and agile despite his size. Durable enough that it took, mind you, Tony's weaponry is energy-based. So, getting smacked in the face, constantly energy attacks or injects, and all Tony could do in the end in the Infinity War was nick him, had an entire building thrown on him and he got taken by surprise, threw it off him like nothing. So Thanos is durable as hell, fast, very quick, agile, a skilled warrior, strong as hell, and vastly intelligent on his own right. Now, obviously Endgame's only just come out today, so whatever spoilers I say are so minor that don't worry about them. But we do. This isn't actually even a spoiler for the movie because this information is like they've shown the comic cover that Thanos has a weapon in Endgame that was revealed in the marketing, that was revealed in the Empire comics, the toys and everything along those lines. So this isn't a spoiler. He has a weapon that's basically a double-sided broadsword, and I'm not going to say how durable that is, but I'll say this right now: that thing can cut Superman, at least MCU Superman, CW Supergirl, without issue. That's all I'm going to say on that. Thanos is just a conqueror, a tyrant, a warlord, and he is good at what he does. Now you take the flip side of that coin with the Infinity Gauntlet, he can just erase anyone. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now, with the Infinity Gauntlet, even in the MCU, which is all basically downplayed on some level in terms of how strong these characters really are, the Infinity Stones not quite. They're about as powerful as they need to be. Thanos, again, snaps the fingers and they're done. Because MCU Thanos' goals are not the same as the other goals. If these guys are trying to stop him, he'll just erase them before he even erases the universe, and it takes a lot less energy to erase one person than it does to erase half of everyone that exists currently. So, yeah, Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, he's going to win. Now, to break these characters down real quick, Man of Steel Superman is actually probably one of the weakest men we've ever had in fiction. I mean, he's powerful enough to go trade blows with Doomsday, drag an entire ocean liner through the ice, so you get the resistance of the ice without too much difficulty. Save like a centrifuge, or what is it? A centrifuge? Save something to do with a rocket and lift that without too much difficulty. I'm trying to recall what was probably his greatest display of actual strength. Was it the ocean liner carrying the entire building of people in Justice League? That one might have been his greatest display of strength. I'm trying to remember all his displays of strength ultimately throughout the three movies all he's overall in. Yeah, I think it's either the ocean liner or the building was the most impressive. And that's probably not even the peak of his actual strength. He still drives his strength from the yellow sun radiation. But he's also got durability to the match. Durability match. When going up against an opponent of equal power, they can hurt him. Like, he feels the hits going up against someone of comparable power. He felt him when he had fought Zod. He got killed by Doomsday. Um, and Wonder Woman isn't as strong as Superman, but she does. She can get some good blows in. When Batman obviously Batman weakened him, but he still felt the blows on that one. So it is his durability can be put into question, but his durability is pretty impressive. It's never actually known how fast he is. We know that there's the scene at the cutscene at the end of Justice League where he races the Flash, but we never actually know how fast he really is. We know that he's not quite as fast as the Flash because even though he was able to sense, and he's got super senses, obviously, see and perceive how fast the Flash was going, he couldn't actually move as fast as the Flash. So he's not quite that level, but he's pretty damn fast. Flight, obviously, heat vision. He does have the ice breath as well. However, he's also not anywhere near invincible. Obviously, the kryptonite was a big thing for him. One of the big things is if someone's a better fighter than him, he struggles. He struggled against Feora. He struggled against Zod. He got in a straight, legitimate fight on equal ground, he got his ass handed to him by Batman. I'm trying to think who else he goes toe to toe with. Because it wasn't just those. I think there was some. No, I think those were it, but that's because everything else he was just he overpowered them is what it was. So against someone of comparable or equal ability in some way, shape, or form to him, be him weakened or be them similar strength, and they have greater skill, he loses that fight. So, and he's not as durable as you might think. Like he survived a nuclear explosion, but he was severely weakened by it. So enough force is more than enough to beat him. CW Supergirl is stronger than CW Superman by omission of Superman himself. I watched the first season of the show. I'm like, it didn't start out great at all, but this was okay. And then I heard, and I didn't get back into season 2, unfortunately. But then they jobbed Superman. They put over Superman to make Supergirl look good. And you know how they do that? Because he continually says, "Oh, I keep forgetting how much stronger you are than me." Oh, bite me. I don't like Superman that much, but bite me on that. But she is stronger than that Superman. I'm trying to remember what the overall peak capabilities of her strength were. She's capable of. It took Superman and her together to stop a falling plane, like a airliner falling out of the sky. I believe she has lifted a giant space, spaceships before. At least on some, maybe not like the biggest, but very large spaceships before. She's not as fast as say the Flash is. She's fast. She can fly. She's got heat vision, which is blue for some reason. She's durable, but she's got her limits as well. I would say she's got a little. She's definitely can fight a little bit, but it's not like she's a martial artist. So there's that as well. The Flash, Barry Allen he's the Flash. He moves at supersonic speeds. He also thinks that fast, and he is quite intelligent. He can even traverse through time and dimensions. But he's still a human. He's got the physical limitations of a human. Oh, God. Okay, Sosuke Aizen. Let me see if I can get through this in maybe 3 or 4 minutes at most, so then I can get to the actual fight. Sosuke Aizen. If you don't watch Bleach, there's individuals known as Soul Reapers, Shinigami. They're spiritual beings. They're technically spirits. They're their own kind of creature in some way. They look human, but they're a different type of organism or being entirely from humans. Sosuke Aizen ended up becoming was the main antagonist through a lot of it. And then he got captured, but through a process that is convoluted unless you really read the manga, he became functionally immortal. He can't die per se. He has something implanted in him that gives him a vast amount of power, high regeneration capabilities, his energy level, his spiritual energy as it is enough that he can just crush everything with the pure gravity of its presence. He's got strength, speed, and durability all beyond your normal capabilities. He can move basically in the blink of an eye. He's vastly intelligent, very cocky too, though. But he's also Keto. Master Keto is their kind of version of magic, using anything from lightning to causing a black is it Kurokozuchi or something like that? I can't remember the name of the technique. Black coffin is what it is. Basically, that warps time and space. Because summoning a giant dragon, techniques along those lines. And he also has a sword with that is part of him now. Kyoga Sugetsu, which basically if when he releases it, he says shatter. Kyoga Sugetsu. It's absolute hypnosis. It has absolute control over the 5 senses. And if you've been exposed to it once, you are pretty much you're screwed. Unless you have some method to counter it, which very few do. It's never been illustrated that a strong will could counter it or something like that. So, he is immensely powerful, but he was defeated through means of like sealing and outsmarting and things along those lines. And of course, in his universe, there's not much that can take him on. Outside his universe, there's probably plenty that can take him on. So, again, let's break down this fight. Now, without going into any endgame spoilers, obviously, let's assume, and if I do make any resemblance to the actual movie, I apologize. I'm not trying to. Let's say that they fight Thanos without the gauntlet. Now, Thanos has his blade, and they're going to confront him for some reason or another because they got to stop him from doing something. Not to get the stones per se, but something else. And they're the only ones left to stop him. Let's go with that. And this line's in the trailer, so he's just sitting there waiting for him. You see that in the trailer too, where he's sitting there and they kind of come up on him. And this line's in the trailer like, you could not live with your own failure. And what that do lead you to? Back to me. And, they square off against him, and the fight goes down. And the Flash goes in for the first shot. I mean, he kind of blitzes Thanos a little bit. Thanos is just trying to react. Supergirl and Superman come in with their, heat beams. He's blocking him with his blade, and, he swings at him. Superman's trying to go toe-to-toe, and he's landing good shots on him. I will say this. I don't know if Superman is stronger than Thanos or Thanos is stronger than Superman. I will say from what we've seen demonstrated, they're probably comparable to each other, at least. So, Superman's landing blows. Supergirl's landing blows. And Aizen is getting ready for Keto. And then Thanos comes in, just slices Barry as he's just not able to, just slices him in half. Barry goes down, just dead all of a sudden. And Supergirl's distracted. Thanos just gets her in the face, and then Superman's trying to heat blast. Thanos grabs him in the face. Superman just throws him on the ground, but he gets immediately back up, throws the blade at him. Superman just grabs it, throws it back. Thanos catches it again. Superman comes in for another blow, but then Thanos just grabs it, just boom, and then just like he does with the Hulk, just boom, starts just gut punches him. Superman feels that, gut punches him, just boom, 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 boom. Then just boom, smacks Superman on the ground. It's just like, Supergirl tries to come in, heat beams her, but then he just grabs her, just snaps her neck. And then Aizen comes in with the black coffin, and he basically starts to warp space and time, basically, and gravity in there. And he's like, and then just he actually is able to get out of there, though he's a bit messed up. And he comes in, and Aizen just is standing. They go clash blade to blade. And Thanos is like, you think you will stop me? Your friends have already failed. Well, first off, they're not my friends. By the way, Soul Reapers can't be seen by non-spiritually aware individuals. I would have to believe Thanos is. Sorry, I was flipping off there. Thanos could perceive Aizen there on some level. Give him the Soul Stone, definitely he could see him. But he doesn't have the Soul Stone in this scenario. So, he's like, first of all, they're not really my friends. More of work acquaintances, common goals and all that. And second, it's like, what makes you think that they're dead? And then all of a sudden, he suddenly gets a boom on the back of the head. His blade, he's reaching for a blade, but it's suddenly gone. And Supergirl and Superman are just there again. That whole thing was an illusion by Aizen from the get. Because Aizen ain't no man's fool. Aizen is a true genius. There's probably only one individual in the entire Bleach series that was arguably smarter than he was. And that's arguable if he was. But Thanos is then just like, really, he's trying to go for his blade again. He kind of he tags Barry because Barry can't avoid it in time, and he goes, but he's able to live. Supergirl then just grabs him by in a kind of a lock. Thanos is just holding there, but he's slowly moving. And then Superman comes in, just boom, then just grabs like, this is over. And then Thanos, as he's about to try to snap Thanos' neck, Thanos just kicks him, boom. Kicks him right into Aizen, who gets out of the way, and then at this point he's basically does the Hado 99, which is the highest level Hado you can go, which is the offensive one, 5 War Dragon, and just hits Thanos with everything he's got. And Thanos just kind of there, charred and just, he's like, no, I am, and then before he can even say anything. Superman just or Supergirl, actually, yeah, Supergirl comes in, just boom, stabs him with his own weapon, just and then just Thanos is dead. Now, why does Thanos lose? Because honestly, Aizen's the Deus Ex Machina in that fight. Thanos, from everything MCU Thanos, from everything we know, doesn't have a damn thing that can counter absolute hypnosis. Any of the keto spells Aizen has, everything along those lines. Superman, honestly, yeah, if you didn't include Aizen in this fight, I might have actually I probably would have given the fight without the glove to Thanos. But because you put Aizen in there, he's their trump card for that. With the gauntlet, full gauntlet, it's Thanos, no doubt. But I don't like to leave it just at 50-50. You got one Thanos win, you got one Thanos lose. That's not cool. That's not right. So there's a third scenario we're going to use here. Instead of a full gauntlet, instead of Tony and the Guardians and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange on Titan, we got our group on Titan. So when Thanos shows up there, he's got the space, reality, power, and Soul Stone. So how does that fight go down? That's the real interesting one. So he goes in there, and I actually think Aizen would be the one that he's interacting with first. They're all waiting and ready. As I take it, MOS dead, and they have the conversation. And even Aizen's like, oh, it's like, do you really think you have what it takes to beat us? It's like, Shadow, so good, who gets you? It's like, and then Thanos just like, you shattered, that's interesting. And he's just like kind of contemplating, I wonder what that meant. And then it means what? Look out. And then actually what they do is exactly the same that Iron Man did. Superman pretty much just Superman and Supergirl throw a giant just F off thing at him and just crush him. He just breaks it apart and just and basically said, we gotta get the stones. And then Flash comes in, tries to grab one, maybe using his speed, because he knows he can't physically compete with Thanos at this point. Tries to grab the stone. Now, without saying anything, 2 of the stones I believe, can be handled by human hands. I believe they demonstrate that. Like the Time Stone, they demonstrate has like this little matrix field around it that you can hold it with. And one of the other stones you can grab or can hold. And I will say, but of the 4 that are in the gauntlet, and Thanos we know can hold him because he's different than the rest of them. But of the ones in the gauntlet, the reality, no, you can't touch that. Space, nope, that's going to physically hurt you. Power will destroy you if you're not strong enough. So yeah, the best hope would be to try to go for the Soul Stone, because it's not shown whether or not Thanos is the one that can hold it or other people can hold it. But Barry doesn't know that, so he immediately goes for the first one he can. And I think he immediately touches the Power Stone. Now, fortunately, Barry's fast enough to just avoid being destroyed by that, because he can't touch it. It's like, It's like, I can't touch it. It's like, you can't touch it. It's like, you boy. And it just uses the Power Stone, just blows it back. You can't touch the stones. And Supergirl and Superman both come in. He just has the power. He uses the reality stone, creates like kind of like those birds fighting, or just pieces of exploding birds or whatever. Exploding birds coming through Superman and Supergirl, and then just Aizen then tries to get him in again. Kurosuke Black Coffin, and then with the space stone and reality stone, he just like gets rid of it, turns into a black hole, starts sucking Aizen in. And Aizen just, and then he digs his blade in a little bit. He shumpos out, which is the super speed technique. Comes in, brings a blade down. Thanos just catches it, or Thanos doesn't even bother to catch it because and Aizen immediately realizes what? It's like, you think I couldn't see through that? It's like you're lucky, or it's too bad. Had you fought me before I gathered the Soul Stone, I might not have been able to sense you. But between soul, space, reality, I know where you are no matter what. And then he just, but I'll say this: you're gonna be the biggest problem, I think. And then he honestly just destroys Aizen right on the spot. Because let's be clear, to be able to control all facets of a single thing in the universe, be it power, which can destroy pretty much anything outright, theoretically speaking, or enhance your strength or durability, space, reality, which power reality alone probably had the capability, at least just vaporize people on an individual basis. Because Thanos was just going to wreck Tony on Titan with just all four of the stones he had. The Soul Stone, maybe even erase your own or the person's soul or suck it into the Soul Stone. It's never fully explained on that. But he just does that and just takes out Aizen just right there. It's like, and Aizen tries to resist, like, you think you're the only one who can warp reality. The Hogyuku will never bow to someone like you. The Hogyuku, and then the Hogyuku just is torn. What? The Hogyuku can control reality, but the stone is reality. And then just straight to Hogyuku. It's like a reality stone wannabe, and then just crushes it in his hand. Just and Aizen's like, ugh, and then he just rips Aizen apart, just demolishes, dismantles, disintegrates, dematerializes. Take your pick of words. Superman and Supergirl both come in though, and just boom, and then boom, and the Thanos just. And then Barry tries again to use his speed instead to grab the gauntlet itself. And Supergirl even helps him at that point. As Superman's holding on to him, and it's like we almost got it. And then basically is able to barely clasp his hands together, and then just use the Power Stone, just manhandles Superman and just smacks him into them, and then he pulls down that entire moon out. Just throws him at the moon out, and they got to get out of the way. Barry's fast enough to get out of the way, but at the same time, Thanos just can figure out where he is and just tags him and basically turns him maybe into putty or whatever. Or turns it. No, I bet it makes his bones brittle like cookies, and just and then Supergirl and Superman both have to do the best they can, heat beams or whatever. Thanos just takes the energy, throws it back at him. He eventually just grabs Supergirl by the throat and is starting to just crush her neck. Superman comes in though, smacking him as hard as he can, which again he's still able to hurt Thanos on some level. He's that strong, and he does drop Supergirl, but he ultimately just grabs Superman but with his good hand, just smacks him into the Power Stone face first, boom, knocks his ass out cold. Not dead, but out cold. Supergirl then again tries to do her best to just do her own ice breath to maybe freeze the stones up, but he just throws it back at her and starts freezing her, and just continues doing it, freezing her. And she's and then she's just a frozen block, and he just shatters her. And Superman's just Superman and him. And even he says, I could do this all day. It's like, yes. It's like, I could too, but I've got bigger fish to fry. And then basically he does the same thing he did with Aizen, just unfortunately for you, you won't be around to see when I do this to everyone else. And then Superman just just dusts Superman right in the spot. So why does Thanos with 4 stones win against Superman, CW, Supergirl, and Flash. And I mean, Barry's. Oh no, I already said he turned into made him brittle. CW, Superman, Supergirl, and Flash, Man of Steel, Superman, and Aizen. Where see the thing is, against a non-Infinity Gloves Thanos, Aizen was the trump card. Aizen was the trump card because he had nothing, as far as we know in the series, to counteract Aizen. When you give him stones, particularly the Soul Stone, which controls every aspect of soul in the universe, including, say, seeing a Soul Reaper. So right off the bat, he'll know where Aizen is. That's that acts as a sixth sense. So even if his hypnosis with the other gems in the Gauntlet affected him, because of that sixth sense, he would still be able to know actually where Aizen is. So the hypnosis wouldn't do anything at that point. Then you factor in reality warping. The Hogyoku maybe is a reality warping device on some level, but nowhere near on the same level as an actual gem that warps the literal facets of reality itself on a universal level, not on an individual level. Then you count in the Space Stone. Again, with the Space Stone, he can teleport and has spatial awareness of where things are. So you factor those two things in alone. With that and the Soul Stone, he will always know where Aizen honestly is. And the Power Stone, all the power you need, plus it strengthens the other stones in general. So again, he was planning to obliterate Stark right on the spot in Infinity War with just 4 gems. I have to believe he can do that here as well. So, and honestly, the other guys, like I said, had it not been for Aizen in the without the Gauntlet version of the fight, I think he honestly would have beaten them anyway. Because, frankly, those versions of those characters are not the strongest versions of those characters. While we only have technically 2, I mean, we have more than 2, but 2 main versions, comics and the MCU versions of Thanos, both are more powerful. I mean, the weaker version of Thanos is still stronger than the weaker versions of Supergirl, Flash, and Superman, generally speaking, the ones we were given. So, ultimately, Thanos does win 2 out of 3 matches in this scenario. But what do you think? This was a long one, but I felt the need to make it a long one. What do you think? Put in the comments below. Let me know. Thank you for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superhero, Magic, what if, anything to do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. So tomorrow, I got the War of the Spark pre-release. I'll have a review of their pre-release. The novel, my review of the novel is going to take a bit longer than I expected, just because I haven't gotten the novel in yet. There were some mistakes made. There will still be who would win throughout the remainder of the weekend. Box office. I'm looking forward to talking about the box office this week. And a what if on Sunday. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time. Have a good one.